Greetings my lovelies, and thank you for stopping by this circle today. This week's video is going to be slightly different from all of my other ones because this is the first of my anime videos, and this video is also about the one that has kind of kick-started my obsession with anime all over again. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into My Hero Academia. Now, before I begin, I really feel like I should do a shout out to my writing club from like 2 summers ago, like pre-COVID, because you guys were writing all these fan fictions about My Hero, and I was like, what is this? And you guys were like, oh, it's an anime. And I was like, well shit, I used to watch anime as a kid, let me go check it out. Let's just say I'm really excited for season 5, and I'm loving every minute of it, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about the manga now. So in this world, nearly everybody has a superpower, which is kind of cool and kind of funny because you have just ability ones, like, you know, typical X-Men fashion, but then you also have physical ones that don't really do anything but make you look weird. Sometimes you can have both. Sometimes it's only one or the other. But the reason why I really do like this premise is because, one, Horikoshi, the author, loves American superhero types of things, and so My Hero is influenced by that, which is kind of cool because normally it's the other way around. But 2, this is probably the most realistic look at what would happen if the vast majority of the population started developing supernatural, magical, hero-like abilities. And what I mean by that is it's going to regulate the fuck out of it, make money off of it, and completely bastardize the whole system. Yes. I mean, in all honesty. And it becomes very clear much later on in the manga, both in what I've read and what I know is coming in the future, that the society is highly corrupt, god fucking awful, and just really has turned away from what heroes really were supposed to be, and all because the government got in control and then society had to go put its ugly little fucking fingerprints on the whole matter. But I love it. It's such a refreshing look at superhero society that I absolutely adore it. Alright, so while My Hero has a ton of characters that really could probably suit anyone's need, it's a little oversaturated in all honesty. I'm going to talk about my favorites. I have my favorite students, I have my favorite pro and teachers, and I even have a few favorite villains. So let's go ahead and start talking about them. Now, when it comes to the students, had I come across this when I was younger, I might have actually liked the main character. I don't dislike him, but he's not exactly where I'm at in my life, nor is he in any way, shape, or form an extension of my personality, which is crucial if you really want to connect them. So there are 2 students that I absolutely connect with and that I love so much, and one is going to be really surprising, and one is not going to be surprising if you know me, like, before my whole, you know, before all this. If you knew me growing up, this character is really not all that surprising. First and foremost, I like Uraka because of one simple reason. She is the most like me as an adult. Now, some of you may not be aware, I served in the military. I joined the Marine Corps roughly like within my 2nd year of college. I dropped out of college, joined the Marine Corps, and yada yada yada. My reasonings for joining the Marine Corps are her exact reasons for joining the hero course, and it's the money. She joined because she wanted to be able to provide a better financial life for her family. It's practical. Yeah, she wanted to help people, and she's a great person, but all that was secondary to just being able to provide a better life for her family. In all honesty, that is what a lot of people do when they join the military. Hell, that's what I did when I joined the military. I had nothing else going for me. I knew that I needed to do something. I might as well get paid while I do it and try to figure out my life. It was very practical. There was no sense of like nationalism or patriotism or anything of that nature. My friends had gone in, I went in. It was kind of the only option for me at that time if I wanted to advance in my life. Am I grateful for it? Yes. But, you know, it is what it is. The second student that I like is Bakugo. I love this little angry Pomeranian so much. So much. Y'all don't understand. When I was that age, I had so much rage. So much anger. I was an angry little bitch. I was snarky. I was sarcastic. I would beat your ass if I had not been like so constrained in myself. Like, whew. He is outwardly what I was inwardly as a kid. However, when it comes to terms of character growth, I think he has made a lot over the course of the manga and the show, depending on, like, you know, what you watch and read. But, you know, he starts off as this cocky, arrogant little bastard that I did not like. And then he got the rug pulled out from underneath his feet. And he's like, well, fuck, I am actually not God's gift to the world. And I need to get better, but I don't fucking know how to get better. And so he just lashes out angrily. And honestly, like, I feel like this kind of a lot. Not that I think that I'm better than anybody else, so he's prefaced by that. But more or less, it's just that when I start to look at my own shortcomings, I get very fucking angry at myself. And that, unfortunately, sometimes I do tend to lash outwardly at people who don't deserve it. And he knows that they don't deserve it. And he is working on trying to soften that, but he's not softening because he is an abrasive asshole, and I love him for that. Of the pro heroes of that nature, we don't really get to see a lot of them. Just in passing, I love Fat Gum because he's fat and he loves to eat, and I can feel that on a fundamental level. He is also highly fucking supportive, and he would be my best friend. But the one that I love, that I'm so glad that I'm watching this as an adult because I can just love this man without any guilt, is Aizawa. I liked him from the moment I saw him in his yellow submarine sleeping bag, but I fell in love with him at the SDJ event when he just launched himself at these villains and kicked their ass. And it's great because in a world of powerful quirks, his is not that powerful. He just looks at you and cancels out whatever it is that allows you to do something. So if you're able to shoot something from your fingers, you no longer can. This doesn't affect physical types, but he has learned to turn his weakness into a strength by being skilled at some hand-to-hand combat. Now, he's also been an asshole. I think we're seeing a trend here on the type of guys that I like. I mean, my husband's kind of the same thing as well. I'm sorry, baby, I love you. But he also really cares about his students. Yes, he's constantly threatened to fail them, but he wants to make sure that they understand the severity of the types of events that they're going into, and that being a hero is not a fucking walk in the park. And if you really want to know more about his story, I highly recommend you reading the Vigilante series, because that has some, oh my god, punch in the gut shit. And in the later volumes of the manga, we get another punch in the gut directly from the stuff that happened in the Vigilantes. Have I lost anybody yet? No? Okay, cool. We're gonna roll right on to the villains. Now, when it comes to the villains, they all have some very interesting backstories for the most part. I mean, Shigaraki, who's kind of like the main villain, has one of the most, like, oh my god, terrible backstories, and it really brings to light the failings of this hero society. But another character that I just absolutely love and adore is Toga. She is, in every way and shape of the word, her quirk makes her crave blood, and we find out that the counseling that they provided for these dangerous quirks did not necessarily help her, and because of that she was ostracized by her own family. And so what was left for her to do than just to fall back into what everyone thought that she was going to be. Which is interesting because we also have another character that's like this, Shinzo. He has the ability to brainwash people, and so everyone told him he would make a great villain, but he is striving to be a great hero. So I love these types of things in my hero. It's just so many characters, I can't pick them. I love them all. Now, if you're unfamiliar with how comics and mangas work, they have arcs. Now arcs are things that we are familiar with in stories, but in the traditional written stories is usually an overarching arc for a series or an arc of a book. You have character development arc, you have plot arcs, and so on and so forth. And the mangas, they just kind of perpetually go like a fucking roller coaster. Same thing with comics, but the difference that I've noticed between American comics and manga is that with American comics, they will have their arc, kind of wrap it up, and then stop and then hit reboot, and then kind of keep going on with different ideas. But it's like a reset button every single time. Kind of like the Perpetual Tuesday in Supernatural. Only they're not reliving the same thing, just everything gets reset. But with mangas, it just kind of keeps going forward until they reach the overall end of the story. But there's a lot of these little mini arcs. So for My Hero, we have like the introductory arc, where we meet our characters, our main heroes, our main antagonists, kind of understand how the world's going. And then we have training arcs. We have different types of training arcs. There's the sports festivals, there's the wood festival, there's training with pro heroes, there's just so many of them. And of the arcs that I've read, my absolute favorite one is the Overhaul Eri arc. I don't know what it's officially called, that's just what I call it. Because when I saw that in animated form, because I was more caught up with the anime than I was with the manga at that time, oh my god, that just like cemented My Hero as one of my thoroughly enjoyable animes to watch. And then reading it in the manga and seeing just the differences in how the art styles are, oh my god, it's so good. It will rip your heart out. I mean, I was sobbing by the end of it, and it's just, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like, if you must watch it, it's just for that whole moment, but you need to know everything else up to that point, because holy hell is it amazing. Whew. But that being said, my least favorite arc is the one that comes immediately after that one. Now I get it, we had to have a little lighter, fluffier piece after that thing, but I just could not, for the life of me, give a flying fuck about Gentle Criminal and La Brava. I couldn't care. Just give me the damn, festival thing that they do where they sing and over and, Eri gets all happy. Like, I don't care about anything else but the happy bits. But just that whole mess was like, okay, whatevs, me. I absolutely hated it. But I get it, we gotta have some lighter pieces after this stuff. I really must thank everyone who's ever introduced me to this anime, and for Hirokoshi for creating it, because I used to love manga a lot. I used to love anime a lot when I was a teenager, on into my early 20s, and I kind of forgot about it for a little bit. And honestly, I probably stopped watching anime, sometime in like 2014-ish, just simply because life. You couldn't quite get to it as easily as you can now. But now, fuck it, there are multiple legal streaming platforms. It's great, so you don't get viruses to watch it. And it's so easier to get manga now because of the internet. And honestly, the community is loving and accepting for the most part. You always have them assholes, but whatevs. But what gives me the greatest joy about this is that seeing the newer generation of otakus, weebs, whatever you want to call yourself, anime lovers, it's just like, there's so many of them now, and it's just like, yay, another community to join into. Now, if you don't watch or read any other animes or mangas, I would probably recommend this is a really good one to start off with. It is your typical action-adventure type of anime. Nothing really out of the blue, just some interesting things. So if you're kind of wanting a generalized idea for it, go for this one and enjoy. So that is all that I have for you today. But before I bid you all farewell, if you have another anime that you want me to watch and talk about or read, just let me know by dropping a comment down below. Just know that it may take me a hot minute to get to it, because in all honesty, I have probably over 100 shows that I need to watch. Yeah, I had to get one of those choice selector things. Just to pick the next one, and I keep rewatching my old favorites, so I don't know when it'll get to it. But anyways, if you want to see what else I'm doing, check me out on my other social media. I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So without further ado, adios mis amigos, and I will see you next time.